So we've got an all-out stock market crash on our hands here. Where is the bottom? Is there ever going to be a bottom? Let's find out here today. It is Monday, March 10th, 2025. Don't forget to like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We'll be doing a giveaway soon for our month of active trader. I'll do a live stream this week. By the way, as of I think midnight tonight, I will have a 40% or sorry 60% off active trader for the next month, and we'll be doing the same thing with swing trades as well. So get in that while you can. A lot of volatility out there, so definitely a market here. No shortage of action. Anyways, let's get into it here today. So market's down 3.2% on the spiders, almost 4.5 on the Qs, although we are finally getting a little bounce here. Now, a couple of things here. This is finally, I know we joke about crash all the time. I'm going to say this is actually a good enough use of the word that it's actually accurate. And the reason I say that is because we're starting to see finally like disorderly selling here. We're getting to close to vol control levels. I talked about 29.30. We're almost there. You know, you can always overshoot with volatility, but we're starting to get to those levels. But what I mean here is that, I mean, look at the price action Friday and even the Friday before, right? It's like it just doesn't matter. Like we just, yeah, that it's like negated. Like it didn't even, it was like it wasn't even a thing, right? And we can take a look here. Let's just use ES. I mean, like you know, here we'll do it this way. We'll do dollar yen, and then you can see ES here. We'll comp that. It's a little bit easier to see. But the reason I say it's starting to get to like crashy levels is because like look at how the dollar yen, you know, came nicely off the lows, and it's actually inching up right now, as the market just kind of like right. So the market just stopped. Right, it stopped respecting dollar yen here. So it's as if like that's it, baby out with the bathwater. You know, we're just starting to continue to roll over. Dollar yen actually holding up. And by the way, the dollar index versus the euro, yeah, up 0.5%. So again, the forex market getting a quite a big divergence here, and we're finally getting a bounce. To see, we'll probably hold 5,600 by the end of the day here. Big put wall sitting right there. So I would imagine that can at least get walked back here by the end of the day. You can see it right there. But none of these levels have mattered, right? Dealers are just pushing it down. That's why we talked about at the highs. Like dealers are not going to save this market. That's why I said GTFO or hedge up here. And again, buying into this, you can DCA into these things, but you got to start small. Because at some point we will get a major squeeze. That might even be tomorrow again. Like I said, we're close to vol control levels. We have CPI coming in Wednesday, and we'll get a good IV crush, I'm sure, at least on one of these events. But right now, this is definitely selling. We haven't seen in a long time. It reminds me a lot of the high in 2022. And again, you can see that similar kind of Wyckoff type look. Outside move up, failure, 1, 2, 3 down through the 50 MA. And why I bring up the 50 MA is we haven't seen it in a long time. Going back to June, so it was like 18 months. And right here was, October. So about close to 18 months, right? Somewhere in that range. And then 1, 2, 3 down through the 50 MA. Could we close the week green? That's possible. I mean, this is only Monday. So, you get a move to 55 in a V shape. It could certainly happen. But right now, again, that's why I said on Friday, even though we're favoring a bounce, 5880 ES got to reclaim, and it never did. So now, the squeeze levels are much lower because we've just gone so much lower. I'd say if we reclaim 5700, this would take a huge rip. But right now, next level, I'm just going to say 550 SPY. And I'll tell you this, I thought 550 SPY would get hit by the end of quarter. Just give you guys a look at my game plan, which no longer really matters. It's not quite playing out. But I was looking for either a lower high here or a lower high after this. And I thought that could happen this week, right? Now I'm not so sure. I don't even know if I would try to fade a lower high at this point. The reason for that is we've pulled forward like all of it, like, I was thinking maybe 550, 545, that's 10%, right? 61, 61, 610 minus 61, right in that 550 area. So I don't know if I would even try to short a lower high at this point, because that could get squeezed if that. Yeah, I don't know. We've pulled forward a lot of the corrections, what I'm saying. And usually when the market crashes, that's kind of the end. That doesn't mean it can't go lower when it does that, but that's sort of it, right? That's the climax. So we'll see. You're getting a little bounce right now. We might need to get a gap down tomorrow though into that 550 handle. We are getting into that vol control area, 29 and above, 29 to 35. Anything above that, you just start buying with your eyes closed, basically. Kind of like August. It's not often we even get that high. But definitely, and this is tech rec here. I mean, look at breadth. We only, 150. That's not even that bad. Like, look at equal weight. It's still like, equal weight. If we continue bouncing, might even close above Friday's low. Look at the IWM here. That was, above Friday's low for most of the day until the bottom fell out. By the way, I think IWM, if you're aggressive, isn't in a bad spot right here. So you can take a measured move, 245 to 213. That's 32 points minus 230 is what? What was the low of the day? Oh, 198.75. Right on the money. I mean, if clearly a level here, we got the 200 and the 100 there, necktie right there of the moving averages in that previous level. So there's things that are definitely going to be like massive buys here. Once puts finally get sold, it's just a matter of when is that. Is this the low right here? Who knows? Could be. But you got to position yourself for that. Obviously, you can't short into the hole. That's just asking for trouble. You also can't go all in buying because then, now you're, what if you go all in buying here, now it goes lower, now you're screwed. So that's the way to manage it right now. But yeah, I wouldn't rule out 550. This market just is like ignoring any and everything at this point. It's just kind of, and looking at the hourly, I did an article on this over the weekend, but you look at it, it's just, this is like programmed selling. It's like they have a number they need it to get to, and it's going to get there. But I talked about this. If you compare specifically like NQ, like there's no bounce. Like this is not there's no resetting of the technicals here. Let me just see what the RSI is right now. It's probably 22. But there's no resetting of the technicals. Like even I didn't mean to put on the Mac there, but even here, like there was a lower high and another lower high. Even in April, there was a lower high. Even in, I brought this up too in this article. Like, well, there's 2022, lower high, right? Even during the pandemic, there was a massive, this is a 10% move. It doesn't look like it. That's 10%. So that's why I would want to be positioned for a squeeze. But you can't go head first here. Anyway, pretty crazy stuff. Where would we go back up to? Well, you got a trend line right here, and then of course spiders. I mean, this trend line up here. Well, I know it looks far away, but relatively speaking, it's really not. Anyway, crazy action here. IWM trying to balance and hold 200. There's the Dow. We talked about the 200 moving average on Friday, and there it is. SMH down 5%. Let's see, this could get down here, right? I think this is a slam dunk. Third hit of a trend line, weekly, 100 MA. There's two trend lines right there. That's a big fat convergence level. In fact, let me just take this right now. I'm just doing this in real time. I haven't even looked, but I'll bet you there's a fib there too. Probably. Yeah, there's a 382, which is held before. Okay, let's take it from here. We'll stack a fib here. There you go. There's your 50% fib right below. But definitely some levels here that are getting juicy. Speaking of, we're going to go to our RGV next. That looks juicy to me too. But these are weekly levels. And when you're crashing, again, like don't go, oh, Aaron said it's going to buy here and then it goes down. The end of the week could be $5 higher than where we are. And we could go $5 lower first before that happens. So as I'm giving these levels out, don't think that's an all-in, proposition here. It's just But we are seeing some stuff get to attractive areas. We talked about transports 15K. It's almost there. Interest rates. Let's get up to over here. Our other SPY chart there. Yeah, 2-year down, still holding the low. But this is, it's like the market's strong arming the Fed next week. We'll see if that works out. I can't imagine Powell would be super hawkish. And if he is, then I don't know. I don't know what to say. We'll probably go down pretty hard, and then probably in the end of quarter, and then there'll be a big buy there. But anyway, 30-year holding up a little bit better. The yield is holding up, right? The long end, right? Pricing in this long-term inflation. Doge is cutting all this money, but Besant is still issuing the same amount. So are they really cutting? Are they really cutting? I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe that's what the market's getting wrong too. But anyway, XHB. Hey, XHB is strong. Look at that. So only down 14 cents. This has a chance to close green. So home builders acting well. VNQ acting well too. Only down 81 cents, and it's holding Friday's low. We got XLF here getting popped, but look at this weekly. I like this on the weekly too. Again, this is a good trend line. Again, a lot of the time the third hit washes out a little bit, but this is a good level. Fins are actually pretty attractive right here for a bounce. You got the 200 below, so I mean, like, again, these are DCA levels. Don't go all in, but I mean, you got to buy at some point here. Everybody wants a dip, and then when we get a dip, everybody freaks out. KRE down 3.7. I don't like that one as much, but it may get a bid here. The same thing with KBE, and then broker dealers. Man, this thing's finally. We have finally a lower low. Well, we had one in August too, but this one's wiped out a lot of gains here. We'll see where this closes the week too. I prefer to stay above that green bar, or at least 750. Broker dealers, a lot of volatility. Oil volatility as well, coming off the lows here. We'll see what it does. I still have a tiny runner on it. I'm still optimistic this can bounce here. Again, everybody's really fearful of recession here, so I don't know, maybe CPI comes in, Goldilocks. Maybe we get jolts tomorrow. We have jolts tomorrow morning too. Maybe that comes in, better than expected. We'll see. XLE up 48 cents. And, this, I'm glad I just thought about this. Take a look here. Look at XLE this morning versus the Qs. And then when the Qs bounce, what does XLE do? It pulls back. Money is going into energy here. It's rotating. 100% it's rotating in energy. Now, it did sell off towards, the end of the day, but it's because the bottom fell out of the market, right? So, but watch that correlation. Now, that continued. I mean, look at Exxon here. By the way, I didn't know recession was good for oil stocks. Interesting. And home builders, apparently, which is, there's XHB green on the day. But, just watch that. XOP flat, and OIH is a turd, so that was down. Nat gas here, big outside move. Looking at K. Are we still on J? Yeah, we're still on J. Look at that move. Big tail candle, almost got to $5. We talked about that level. So there's really nothing really stopping it from going there. And there it is, pretty much. It's a good tail candle, but there's really nothing saying it can't go higher here. Good bounce here for the Russell. So we'll see. End of day short covering here. Oh, by the way, I don't have it in front of me, but just trust me when I say that the put dealers are exposed 3-to-1 puts to calls right now. Gamma exposure, not the actual amount, but gamma exposure. I don't think I've ever seen that much, just so you know. Speaking of, but dollar index up 40 basis points. This held up well, dollar versus euro here. It's through the 200, but it's not following through. We talked about dollar yen. That's bidding up right now. It's holding the 618 still. So that's what bulls have here, but the market's acting like nothing matters right now. Gold here today, down, so possible lower high there, but it's fine. It's fine. Silver, same thing. platinum and palladium a little bit weaker too. Although palladium's got a possible inside bar. I just don't love it because it's below the moving averages. Copper backing off down 1.24. It hasn't really broken trend. This can still stay firm here. And we got crypto, which obviously is down as well. Bitcoin, double bottom. We'll see if this can hold this. It'd be interesting if that holds. I think it has a good chance. As we get a little bounce here towards end of day, we'll see where this ends up tomorrow. But yeah, just everything else getting washed out. ETH can't hold that low. Look at ETH here. Wow. So that was a good little sweep there and then a pop, but look, it right back down. So all the alts pretty much just getting roasted here too. Got a big level down around 70. We'll see if it holds in the short term. We're at this point now where the market doesn't need a reason to bounce or squeeze. It can just do it because of where we are and how far we're down. But it also could go lower without a reason as well, which it's been doing. So that's the real trick here. So I'd say, yeah, there's definitely things that are worth picking at here. And if you can keep your average within like a couple of days worth of where price is, I mean, when this bottoms, it's not going to bottom like people are acting like it's going to, if you buy now, you're going to never get your money. Like when this bottoms, it's not going to rally 100 points and then it's going to be over. It's going to rally 300, maybe 350, right? Let's just say that let's just say that was the low. Let's just take a fib here. A 50% retrace brings you back to 584. That can happen in like 2 days in this type of market. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying it can. So again, be smart. Don't go all in. But there's definitely some things here that are interesting. I would like to see a nice little wash here. Maybe, you know, VIX pop above 30 tomorrow. You know, I was the only guy who said that couldn't happen, or that could didn't have to happen. So everybody else is kind of calling for it. We're starting to see it now, but so right now trying to hold 560 by the close. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't really count this much here off the lows unless we pump here in the next 30 minutes and reclaim like 565. I wouldn't really call this. I wouldn't even like attempt to call it a bottom. If we were going to get a bottom, I would have wanted to see this start around 230 with the NASDAQ leading, but yeah, it's a nice little pop off the lows here. So anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys all tomorrow.